Okay, live again. 10 o'clock. Another interesting week in world events, finance, and everything else. And this weekend, I didn't even pay attention to it until I was scrolling down YouTube. Another No Kings Day event. The only one we had here was down in Charlotte, which is far enough away. They probably had something locally. I don't know. Yeah, but I guess people were arrested and everybody was jumping around, worked up again. So gives you something to do. Me, it was too cold. I went out shopping with my wife. We got some groceries, looked at some stuff to do, some work around the yard at one of the local home improvement centers. And I mean, it was cold. So when we got home, I give her credit. She put a jacket on, was screwing around out there. Me, I was in the house thinking about my new video series that I'm going to do and looking into some other things and doing some other work that I'm doing a little bit of a home improvement project here at the house. So I was busy indoors, which is the way I like it when it's inclement weather. But got on some more. Um, Yes, you are, Peter. Your diligence has put you right at the top of the list here as the first person to send in a comment today. But as I was saying, just mundane stuff and the global situation, there's nothing you can do to control it. If they're going to totally crash the economy and bankrupt us all, it may happen. But like I said, I've decided on doing a new series. No, generally I only have it shows there's only one person viewing. Usually at 10 within the first, well, it's been almost 3 minutes. Within the first 5 minutes, a lot of people show up. It could be they're busy elsewhere. But like I was saying, a lot of people ask me a similar question over and over again. What type of gun do you have in case of, with the wonderful outlook uh, for humanity right at the moment? What type of firearms do you like to use in a shit hits the fan situation, or I guess political unrest or collapse of society or whatever? Uh, Solar flares, alien invasion, you never know. So I think it's kind of relevant and it's weird because 35, 40 years ago, the type of guns, or even 15 years ago with the Moes and the Gaunts, surplus guns were dirt cheap. Ammunition for them was dirt cheap. And they were plentiful and easy to accumulate. They didn't cost you a lot of money. Um, and you can stock up a rugged, reliable weapon of some sort. It is older, and plenty of ammunition for whatever purposes. Now I was thinking of doing a series talking basically because a lot of people say for home defense, like a AR-15, and there was somebody that recently published a video about why you really shouldn't use an AR-15 for home defense, and the guy showed uh, a target, and he had a piece of sheetrock, a frame, and then some sort of a outer heavier hunk of wood like the siding of your house, and a second target in there. And as he shot the one target, it showed where the bullets would go through the wall of the house and hit someone else, or depending on how close you live. I've lived in some older neighborhoods before they had codes that the houses, or if you're in an apartment complex, okay, you shoot through the wall, it could go through the wall and into someone else's apartment. So, yeah, I can see the point where unloading a 30 round mag, a 223 inside of a room is not really a good idea unless you live in a secluded area or something. If you're in an apartment, you're in the city where houses are close, this is the wrong weapon to be using for home defense. Okay, now if society breaks down and trying to travel from point A to point B through the city, you could be attacked by mobs and that, then yes, AR-15 would be a good defense weapon, all right, or a shotgun or something like that. So I'm thinking of doing a series on those things, and plus going over the cost, because say the cost of, we'll go back to 1990. So that's 20, 30, 35 years ago. The cost of an SKS rifle back then compared to an AR-15, there was a big difference. It'd be like the SKS was, say, $150. AK-47 was $300 to $350, and an AR of any respectable manufacturer was $700. Okay, and vice versa, the ammunition. I think I bought a case of Chinese ammunition, 1,080 rounds for $80 back in 1988 on the SKS stripper clips. Okay, where by 2008, say 2007, 2008, you could get Wolf, 1,000 rounds of Wolf steel cased 7.62 by 39 for about $100. Okay, and it was non-corrosive ammo. You could get Yugoslavian brass case ammo that was corrosive for a lot less. But it goes to show. And when the Mosins came in, for a nice one with a good bore, you're paying like $100, and you got the bayonet, the sling, ammo pouches, cleaning kit, and everything, all for about $100. You could get some of them down there in the like $60, $80 that maybe didn't come with all the accessories, but you were getting them for under $100. Okay. And again, I forget what a tin of 440 rounds was. It was well under $100 for the ammo. Okay, I used to buy cases and cases of it. Actually went through cases of it. I think it was 440 be 880 rounds in a case. So, and yeah, we call, like the guy said, we call them survivalists, but now you call them preppers or something. That's what we called them back in the 80s, a survivalist. Yeah, I think it would be good to compare prices then to prices now, because now it's kind of reversed. Okay. You can buy a generic AR-15 on sale for $400. SKSs I was looking today, they're $600 to $700, and a decent forged AK-47 is well over $1,000. Okay, which is crazy. Hey, Mr. Big Country. So I think it'd be a good thing to do a series of videos on that, be it the rifles and pistols. Also, a lot of surplus pistols. When they came in, the guy said you'd have a pallet load of them, and they were cheap. They're $150 to for a decent hand. And I mean, these are the ones in good condition. They're like new when they first arrived. Now, like with the CZ 82s or whatever, they're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. I bought one, paid over 3, but I got to go to the store. See, I'll pay more if I can go to the store, look at the damn thing, and pick the best one out of what they got. You know, have one little, the way the police used them, when they snap the holster down, it'll wear the finish in one spot. And that was because somebody carried it with a snap holster and wore the spot. Now they got them, you know, $199.99. PSA is selling them in several other places. Well, there's a guy who bought it, and like 80% of the finish is missing. 60 to 80% of the finish is scratched off the slide, and they're in pretty rough shape. Granted, you know, because they were approaching when they dried up, and that's another thing. They had this weird period where they dried up, and I always kick myself for not buying the ones that came with the leather right or left-handed holster. That big weird-looking holster carried an extra mag in there, and you know, now they want like $90 just for the holster, but it came with the gun, the extra mag, and then it was like two and a quarter or something. And I just never got around to it because I was buying other guns that were a little less, and kind of felt bad about that one. And there's a couple other guns that I have. I think the CZ52 or something. That was another one. You can get them with the holster, the extra mag, and that for well under $100. Now they go for $300-400 when they come up on auctions. And anything in the 7.62 by 25 caliber, any of those pistols, Tokarevs or whatever, that ammunition, I think I had a 80 round box, steel case corrosive ammo. I went and bought them at a gun show, and I think I paid $7.50 for each 80 round box. I think I bought like 2 or 3 of them or something, 4 of them. Now, 7.62 by 25, the surplus stuff's pretty much gone. I don't know what it is a box. I should check that out here. And yeah, it's changed over the years. It's changed, and it's weird how things were. Things were inexpensive and used for ammo and gun caliber. .62 Tokarev. Let's see what the average price is. 54 cents a round. So you're looking, yeah, for 26. You're looking at $30 a box of 50. Okay, which then those guns, they, you know, going through 100 rounds, $60. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like some people get them, they're really gnarly, and some people get them, they're not that terrible. Like I bought some Berettas that people were complaining about them, and I bought one of the 84s. No, I didn't buy it from Palmetto. I bought it from the other place there. And they really didn't show you any guns. They just said they're in good condition. So I was figuring the DK firearms, I think it was. I actually got a nice gun. Some people got nice guns out of Palmetto, and some people got some guns that were not very bad. And that's for the 7.62 by 25 Tokarev. I'm seeing Lucky Gunner, Coyote Creek. But still, some of this stuff, and it's Fioshi, yeah, some of this stuff's 80 some cents around. It's $40. Yeah, yeah, that's what some places are charging here. All right, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you know, now I was checking. I scrolled down a little farther and see you got to watch the shipping because unless you're buying 500,000 rounds, the shipping's free. And on AmmoSeek, when you see like a $40, you know, the shipping is ungodly. They charge you like $20 shipping. Oh, some of these ammo ASAP, 40 some dollars for a box, 86 cents a round. It gets into the 90s as you go down to some place, and that's for Fioshi. That's for Fioshi ammo, and it hits $1. Okay, dollar round. So that's $50 a box. Okay, that's what you were saying here. 50, yep, that's $1 a round. So yeah, then the guns are not fun. Then they're my collector's items. You know, I don't take them out shooting. Now I have $1 a round. So, you know, using that as your main home defense and something like that. It's like 9mm Makarov. You know, that stuff, the surplus stuff in that was dirt cheap. It was kind of non-corrosive. Well, most of them, the Russian pistols and the Bulgarian ones all have chrome line bores, even the Polish ones that fired it. So even if you got kind of steel cased ammo and it may have been corrosive, it was kind of no big deal. Just clean the gun real good after you shot it. Those are fun to shoot. Okay, actually, I had all this. Somebody gave me a whole bunch of old ammo or traded me for something. I had to go shoot up a bunch of it, so I took like 3 or 4 pistols out and just shot it all up. All right, goodness. Dobre Ultra from the USA. Or as they say in Poland, you'd probably know, Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. So yeah, I was thinking of doing a series on that, digging out some of the old guns. Because, you know, the SKS, I mean, it was dirt cheap. I let people at the range, you ever see one of these rifles? No, here, you want to shoot it? I got 300 rounds of ammo. Let me go ahead and shoot a few rounds out of it, try it out. You know, this is back in the good old days. I don't even know what 7.62 is, about 60, 70 cents a round, the AK rounds. They're getting up there close to $1 too. A lot of steel. The steel stuff's about 60 cents a round. But steel cased ammo, I've never had issues with it in any SKS or an actual decent AK build or gun. So yeah, you know, where are you gonna go with it? But I did. I had a Norinco, but it was the one with the thumb hole stock and without flash muzzle brake flash hider or something. I actually sold that for more than I bought to a guy because it was brand new in the box, and he wanted it like that. He, I don't know, collector or something, bought the thing. That was years and years ago. My buddy, he still. I remember I picked up 2 of them at a gun show, one for me and one for my friend. It was 40 years ago, back in the day. But yeah, I'm working on that. With my memberships, I'm working more on the reloading. And again, the ammunition situation has gotten, like we're just talking here, $53 for 50 rounds of pistol ammo is insane. But I believe, I don't know what it is, it's just tariffs. Everyone was asking tariffs, and this and that. And who the hell knows what they're doing with the tariffs? First, they're going to put 100% tariffs, 30% tariffs, all this other stuff. But now I've realized, I don't know if it's tariffs. I don't know if it's just the cost of sending the stuff overseas, all of the PPU stuff, which if you were reloading any full metal jacket bullets or, you know, 9mm Makarov or any of the military calibers, they make brass and reloading components and bullets, projectiles for all these calibers. All of that's gone up. It's even more expensive, full metal jacket bullets for the 5.56. It's more expensive from PPU than it is from Hornady. Yeah, which is crazy. And now they're talking that the ammunition stuff prices are going up gradually. They have been because they, overproduce 9mm, overproduce 5.56. But now the supplies, the economy's been slow. That's why they're selling the stuff cheap. But that's coming to an end because now with everything going on, people are nervous. And they said now they have another rush because people are getting a little antsy about it, that things ain't looking good and the economy's sucking. And see, that's another thing. The guy went into saying how Remington tried coming back. I forget who else. Winchester, because it has a government contracts, does well making ammunition for the military, and it's building a new factory for that new 6.8 cartridge. They have that contract. So Winchester will do well, but it's noticing that its civilian sales are not good. They've been given rebates and everything, and what they're gonna do is cut down. If the company's not making money, they're not going to manufacture something where they lose money. And if inventory doesn't get sold or it's sitting at a distributor or on a dealer's shelf, they're not going to order more. So why make something you can't sell? And they're going to cut back on civilian ammunition production. All the other ones are all been conglomerated again, like what they did with Remington, and everybody put it in one conglomerate with that CZ USA. So the Czechs do most of the manufacturing here. Okay, whether they have a factory here in the US, which Fiocchi does. Fiocchi is making its own primers here in the US, and Fiocchi has factories here, I guess, making ammunition in the US. If the Czechs do or not, I don't know. I believe they control, and because if they sold them to them, then they have control over the existing Remington factory, and CCI, I think, was sold to them, and that. So what they've done is a foreign entity, like when the British bought Smith and Wesson, it's a foreign company, but it owns or controls the factories here. So that's how it is. There's factories in America, but I don't know if they're controlled by a foreign based company, if you'd call them American companies, technically. Good morning, Joe. I hope everything's going okay with you. And so, like I said, this ammunition is going to be a problem, I guess. It's going to get worse. A lot of things are going to get worse here as time goes on through this year. It's not going to be a very good year for a lot of things, and ammunition is one of them. So now reloading, which is another zoo time. I guess I'm just going to use up. I got this material laying here. I don't have to spend any money. I'm not going to buy any factory made ammo. If I get my reloading running, I'm going to do some reloading videos and that. With good morning, spring is strong. Yeah, I got to try to get out myself and test some reloads. Good morning. Doing that. But I think I'm going to review a lot of the guns in the collection and cover it, like I said. Good morning. The cost and, you know, and anybody doing any type of, they call it, you know, preppers or survivalists and that. We all lean towards the surplus guns because they didn't cost much and the ammunition didn't cost much and the weapons functioned and would get the job done for their intents and purposes on what you bought them for. Just an inexpensive weapon with inexpensive ammo for whatever. Shit hits the fan, general purpose, or just going out enjoying old surplus guns and, you know, just shooting them. So for us, heat problems, I guess. There are some indoor ranges here, but they get crowded. You know, I got to drive to my club. It's all outdoors, but it is comfortable out there. Oh, everybody's showing up now. All right, thank you. Food's going to be a big one. Holy Week, yep. Oh, that's right. Easter is next Sunday. Today is Palm Sunday. It is Holy Week. All right. Yeah, it looks like the way ammunition prices are going, I want to be doing a lot of that, trying to get them reloads to work. I haven't gotten to the issue with the bullets yet, but I bought them pulled bullets and they're mixed types. They're 55 grain, but the crimp grooves are off. They're mixed brands, which I don't know if that's going to throw off all my stuff. I had to go and find some berries bullets. I may have to rerun a 55 grain test. The 62 grainers, you know, I had to buy $3,000 of them, but they're good, they're new, and all that other fun stuff. Aim point, no, I'm really not into optics. Okay, I like iron sights. If you look at most of my ARs, they have iron sights. I've never owned any aim point stuff, and if I do buy any type of optics, I usually buy the least expensive that there is, you know. So no, I haven't owned any aim point or done any work with them. Yeah, but the ammo situation is kind of getting out of hand. Okay, and it happened quick because I made a video a couple weeks ago, you know, giving you prices and that, and now I guess things are changing on a daily basis. You can still find budget price guns online. I forget some of them Turkish pistols, PSA's advertising them for $199, and they're not bad guns. Okay, I bought the one kit. That gun's fantastic, and I bought one of those. What the hell is the name? It's a company, Stogers. One of the Stogers, and that was the magazines are expensive as hell if you can find them, but it's just a Glock knockoff, and they work good, and for 300 beans or something, and that was with all the stuff with it. There's still a light in that I have. I can put on any type of gun I want, but you can get them for $2, just the gun alone with a spare mag and some interchangeable grips. That's not a bad deal for a nine, you know. But I've given up an accuracy for Lent. That's a good one. Oh, that's right. That's all the religious holidays are coming. Yeah, I know it's not the cellulose, nitrocellulose isn't, and of course who's making 60-80% of it? China. All right, so again, let's get pissed off at them and start more crap. But I'm gonna try some of that Shooter's World that you always keep asking me about. I got some Shooter's World AR Plus. And I'm gonna give it a go and see what it does. Because it is the most least expensive powder out there. Okay, if you can find it, there was a couple other brands of that or types of it that I wanted to use, and I can't find it anywhere. The tactical rifle and environment or something. I don't know. So I guess it all. So I'll give that a shot. And like you guys watching, I gave you the prices, or I did one. I think I did a public video about prices on it. It's $50 to $70 for a pound of powder. Yeah, I have some coffee right here with me. That's national security issue. Yep. So who knows? It's not looking good. And then with like last week, we were talking about the pistol brace thing and them all flip flopping. There's a lot of people upset about that. Um, who knows? Because if you look at gun control, okay, a lot of countries have totally outlawed private ownership of firearms, okay, uh, recently. And the U.S. doesn't do it. And that's what the powers to be want. And we all know the powers to be fund the people we elect, no matter who they are, with money to do their bidding. Um, and you're going to see a lot of this. I don't know where that is. On top of everything else, uh, my worries are that this whole situation, they're going to crash the economy bad because I guess the Great Reset or whatever the hell they carried on about, they're going to shift something globally with banking, finances, and money. And it's not going to be good for a lot of people. That's something in the back of my mind. And the thing is, I have a theory, and I see it that, and I notice locally, there is now, as money tightens up, you see a lot more violence, a lot more crime. Okay, they've had several shootings around the state here locally, close by in different cities. And I believe a lot of it is, when you're doing illegal stuff like selling narcotics and somebody doesn't pay you, you can't take them to small claims court. And if this is what you do for a living and people stop paying you and word gets out, you're going to be out of business soon. So you go and whack a couple people, and of course they never give you the details. They just say people shot, blah, 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 and that's what it is. Or people, a lot of it too is personal arguments escalate to where there's violence. But the more money tightens up and the more financial situations in the economy goes down, the more of this you're going to see. That's why it's a pretty good idea to make sure you have your stuff in order in terms of guns and ammo. IMR is now $65. Oh, yeah, but if you order the stuff online, okay, and the retail store knows what you're going to pay, you find that it's about the same or a little more. They charge a little convenience fee to go into the store. Okay. I don't know if they pay hazmat when they get it or whatever, or if they do, they pay the $26, but end up with cases and cases of the stuff. Now, yep, silver and gold, but problem is, look, it's the same problem. Because I was thinking of doing, take everything out of the weird ass stock market, buy gold would probably be the best thing. But then again, it's getting it liquid again. Even my silver, I was thinking of selling a little bit of silver off to add something to my gun collection. But when you go there and the dealers ain't buying because they can't sell it to anyone, the wholesalers are backed up in that, so that's tricky business. I mean, yeah, the holdings I have in the metals is good, but when I have to go to the dentist and pay them for money, and these unexpected bills come up, it's hard to keep it liquid. But it is good to do that. That's true, and I believe that point is coming. That point is coming, and it's not going to be a very good thing. Yeah, and that is the case. That's the main problem that I'm kind of nervous about, because if it does happen, like I said, um, you're going to see an uptick in just general society getting out of control. It's already happening. There's people arguing and blasting each other, and there's more violent crimes popping up. Um, Not so much, I think, as people marauding and robbing yet, but like somebody was saying, when food's going to be a problem, when gas is going to be a problem, you know, you're going to have people siphoning gas again. You're going to have people crawling around in the middle of the night. That's why I'm glad I have an attached garage, and we've always used it to keep the vehicles in. Some people use their garages as extra space or storage or living space, keep their vehicles outside. And you're going to see if, or you just don't have a garage, your vehicle is parked in your driveway, you're going to see that there's going to be more and more problems with petty theft. If they already got people that catch them on their doorbell cameras trying the car doors in the middle of the night, and now with gasoline, okay, you're going to see a lot of siphoning and stealing stuff out of cars again. And lead. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's the benefit. You pay a tad more in the premium, but then again, a tenth of an ounce, 400 and some dollars. So that's an easier trend. That's why I kind of like the Goldbacks. The premium is a bit too high on them, but the Goldbacks are nobody really accepts them. They show you a map where they're showing all these places, and I looked around the state. There's 3 businesses within 40 miles. One of them does is a graphic designer, and the other one installs custom windows. Will accept Goldbacks as payments. So I don't know. It's not like they say it is, but they're neat to have. I think I gave a half to somebody as a tip that was singing in a place I was at. I went to give the musician a tip. And even when they're singing and busy and crowded, when they see you coming up with something, they got their eyeballs locked on it for you throw it in their little tip jar. What is that? I said, it's goldback. It's actual gold. Here, you can have one. What's a goldback? Do a search. Just type in goldback and Google it, and you will get an explanation. Good morning. I mean, they're nice to have a. I try to get one up to 5 before they got crazy with them, because like 100 is 700 some dollars, but I can buy a 10th ounce. It's supposedly a 10th ounce of gold. I could buy a 10th ounce of gold for 400. Okay, there's a point. It's kind of like after the 5 denomination. I did a video on it. You've probably seen it. I know you go on my other channel, but after a fiver, you're the premium in the imbalance, and plus people don't readily accept them as a novelty or something. People will enjoy that, but to use it as currency, like they say, that's not. And I don't know if it ever will get like that. Upcoming '05 July Trump signature notes. I don't even know what that. I don't know what that is. You got to explain that to me in a little bit of detail because I have no idea what's Trump's signature notes. Is that where he like tries to sell you the official 1 ounce Trump silver round when silver was like 35 or something dollars an ounce? You could buy a generic round for under 40 and have his official 1 ounce silver round with his signature on it was $90 or $100 with certificate of authenticity, of course. Well, you know what would happen to you if you had a no kings rally in Saudi Arabia? Something very, very bad. No, Goldbacks, no, no. This is something totally different. And that, no, it's 2 different things. That's when we went off the gold standard. Yep, so gold and silver and all the other fun stuff. Okay, let's see. He's giving me an explanation. Trump has announced him signing treasury notes with his. I doubt that, but he's going to put his signature other than the Secretary of the Treasury. I thought there's laws that the people signing the notes are supposed to be, like the Secretary of the Treasury, and I don't know who the hell else. So let me see. Let me see what we got. This is U.S. money. What do we have? Treasurer of the United States and the Secretary of Treasury co-sign the notes. Okay. Here on the bottom, there's 2 signatures on the bottom of all these bills. And it's Treasurer of the United States and Secretary of the Treasury. Yep. Now, I have this Croatian banknote. Let's get a date on this. 5 kuna. 5 kuna. Yeah, so and there's a nomination. I'm trying to get a date here. 2001. Okay, and on the back, looking at this, but if you look on the back up there in very, very fine print, there is a signature on this. I guess without the signature, the money is no good. And it looks like governor, G-U-Y-E, yeah, governor, whatever in their language. And there's a person's signature on it. So it's usually the secretary or somebody. Trump's signature on the current. I doubt very much that it'll say they're to be released by. All right, I got to go. Well, it used to be before they closed all the damn bank things during the plague. There was a branch down in this one small town of my bank. I would go there and ask them for like the gold dollars and all that other stuff, and they were happy. And it was, well, it didn't have a lot of customers. It was never crowded, and the people in the bank would, the tellers would. I guess there were still people that collected coins in that. I don't know if they do it the other branches where they were. All right, I'll have to look into that, see if I can get some. Not backed by anything. That's about the truth. Just because he's signing it, don't make the situation better. Yeah, Mickey Mouse signed the damn thing. By the That's true. They won't take the money. They won't take it. I remember I went into a pawn shop and I was getting a gun transferred, and I said, "You got change, And the guy goes, "Yeah, here." So I gave him, I think I gave him a 50. He had to give me some change, and he goes, "Will you take $5 bills?" And I looked at him and said, "Yeah." He goes, "One of my customers come in, I tried to give him change, and he wouldn't take the $5 bills because Abraham Lincoln was on it, and he didn't like Abraham Lincoln, and he would refuse to put the money in his wallet that had his depiction on it for, let's say, antiquated political reasoning." I said, "Yeah, I'll take them. Don't matter to me." So I took the 5s. Glad you mentioned that. I think I did have, check my pile of receipts here. They have gone up. $3, yeah, 368, I believe, is what it went to. It was 2 or 3 weeks ago. What I tell you guys, 280 something. Yeah, it was on the 18th of February. It was $2.599, 260, and it stayed that way for a while. And when it first started the war, for like a week, it was about 260. And this last one here is $3.69, and this was on the 25th. This receipt stated, so that was Wednesday. I went and filled up the truck, so because I don't know, $5 a gallon. Yeah, I got to go get some gas for the damn lawnmower, and I use the premium stuff in there. If you use this stuff with 10% ethanol and your lawnmower runs like crap, they want to charge you $200 to straighten out the carburetor. You just put the most expensive gas you can find, and that's gone. No, you're not listening. Abraham Lincoln and something about Yankee money. Okay, you got to remember where we live now, or well, I don't know. You're up in Jersey, but yeah, it's something to do with the Civil War. He didn't want the money in his wallet. No, woke liberals will take anything. $6 a gallon. Yeah, it's because vehicle diesel I seen at Sheets or something is like $5 a gallon. Mid to high fours. So you're about $1 more a gallon than what I got, at least at this point in time. But yeah, diesel's tough. Oregon territory. Well, is that Canadian money or or U.S. money? 6.68. But still, I don't even want to know what the hell it is in Europe because it's by the liter, okay. But it comes out when I was there in 2006, it's like $6-8 a gallon, depending what country you're in. 8 for diesel. Well, Jersey, 375. Like I said, yeah, it's about what we're paying here. I don't even know what it is in New York or whatever. Canadian peso, yeah. So it's a little less. Let's look. Okay, Canadian dollar. 6.68. Got the thing wrong. So that's $4.81, about $5 a gallon up there. if it were imperial. No, still wouldn't do this. Somebody else was telling me about getting an EV. I forget who the hell it was. Just to drive around town. See, where we live, they do have charging stations at the Walmart and at one gas station on the opposite end of Greensboro, but they do not have them everywhere. Okay, and actually, there's some areas that there are no charging stations. Okay, so electric vehicles are tough. I know that some of the Sheetz gas station has that other weird gasoline. You go there, there's like diesel, the three of those, and then two of these separate ones, yellow and a blue hose. I forget what they are. Ethanol or some kind of gas. I don't even know what kind of a car runs on it. So you got 5 different hoses at the pumps at some of these gas stations. And that one doesn't have electric charging. Another station has electric charging stations, and the Walmart in Greensboro has a battery of electric charging. If you go to the zoo in Asheboro, there's a free electric charging station at the zoo in the middle of the parking lot where you can plug your vehicle in. For it to be 2 times higher. That's true. The reliability and ability to repair. I've seen a guy when his electric car went out. He had a little generator he fired up, and he had a can of gas, and he's firing up his generator to charge his electric car so he can drive home. How's it going, Tim? That's right. Have a fleet. Electric vehicles for in the city, gas for driving. You know, maybe a couple helicopters. You know. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's not a thing there, but the hydrogen peroxide cars. I remember when I was studying in the military that submarines, before they went nuclear, I was talking, and this is people in World War II or something, they experimented with hydrogen peroxide motors in subs before they, went to nuclear powered submarines. Well, hydrogen peroxide was one of the things. And I remember somewhere in high school, one of the teachers told us if you had a turbine, some sort of a turbine engine, I guess like a jet engine or something, that would run on anything flammable. Because I think kerosene, the fuel oil we used when we were driving the ship, and they were just 2 jet engines in there. They use a type. It's more like a kerosene, or JP5 fuel or something like that. It wasn't JP5, but. 5, 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 but. if you got a turbine, I guess you could tune the thing to run on like peanut oil or whatever. Okay. The problem with it is I knew a guy that worked in one of these places that did all the experimental alternative energy, and the formula goes what it takes to create the material that you use to for combustion to power whatever. Okay. It's kind of like they said they were taking Thanksgiving turkey carcasses and squishing them down, squeezing, I don't know, the fat, the oil or something out of them and using that. He goes, that's a good idea. And it is, you can do that, process stuff to make a fuel substance. But he goes, the cost to produce this or recycle this as compared to pumping the crap out of the ground and processing it, there's a huge difference. It's more economical to burn gasoline, natural gas, and all that other stuff than it is to recycle or whatever. All right, so that's the main problem. Is all right, yeah, but do you drive? It's like in New York State, where I live, up in Adirondacks, a motorcycle was a luxury. Okay, you didn't drive it in 4 foot of snow. Down here, motorcycles are extremely popular, you know, because actually, other than just about 2 or 3 months out of the year, you can drive your motorcycle all the time here. Southern California, I guess that was the state with the highest number of registered motorcycles because the way the weather was in Southern California for years when I was out there in the early 80s and the late 70s, yeah, it never rained there. Okay. And if it rained for more than 4 hours, it was a disaster. But yeah, you could ride the motorcycle was advantageous. Yeah, but their subs, their U-boats ain't that big. Um, but yeah, they went to it. I remember that the hydrogen peroxide engines. They were supposed to make cars or something running on hydrogen peroxide or something. I remember that was one of the alternatives. Another motorcycle. Yes, that's an interesting concept. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, there's been a lot of study on this, and yeah, it's just more efficient. Just like you said, physics. It's just the way it goes, no matter how you feel. Cold fusion is the answer. And I guess the moon is covered with the stuff. You just got to scrape it up and bring it back to Earth. Uh, you know, to do it. But that's why I think they're all going to the moon. But that's some kind of weird crap that'll happen long after I'm gone. I don't see them getting to the moon. They're supposed to go back to the moon already, but they haven't. Mr. Fusion from Back to the Future. That's what those cars were, hydrogen fuel cells. but atmospheric oxygen. Yeah, they kind of didn't go with that. The electric cars, they built that battery plant close to me, and I remember the place is huge. It was a big deal. They went and took this damn wilderness, tore it down, built this gigantic Toyota battery plant. And then I went through there when they were built, first constructing it. And then I noticed they built berms against to the road around the whole place, like a munitions factory or where they make explosives. Okay, and then come to find out when them batteries touch off and burn, man, there's no putting them out. It's like Delta fire is what the hell it is. You just let it burn out. And I guess the reason the berms are there, if the place blows, you got an earthen ramp to kind of not try to save the civilian populace. Okay, Tesla battery pack. They're giving them out for free, but there's like a 3-year waiting list and that. Sounds like fun, but that's another thing. I did some that with the solar power. I got 2 or 3 neighbors that do this, and they got a lot of people going over there and screwing around with their system. You know, yeah, I'll look into that. See if they make it. That's true. Well, we have sunlight here. There's a lot of people with solar power here in North Carolina, but I watched some videos about it. It all depends. Okay, I'm not going to spend 60 grand to solar energize my house. See, that's the thing I don't know. Okay, about the pistol braces. All I know is there was something up in Durham. They were selling. They had an illegal bar. I guess this is popular now. They had 2 of them. They had one in Raleigh, this and that. But this was more. They were running an illegal bar. They were gambling, and they found pot. The other one was just this huge nightclub with a dance floor that they had no licenses to run it. They were just running a bar, and that one they had a few pistols and some cash. This other one had a couple pistols, the cash, and they had AR pistol. It has the same brace like I was showing in the video, that little thin brace. And they said that was a short barrel rifle. And all the people, it was on one of these crime watchers on Facebook. In the comments, there's all these people saying that's a pistol, that's a pistol, that's a pistol. But on the news and that, they said the ATF said it's a short barrel rifle. So you kind of, I got the thing. The only way the police are gonna see it is if I'm doing something illegal with it to begin with, waving it around, threatening people, or robbing a place or something, or committing another crime, and I'm in possession of the thing in the vehicle or something. Then probably. But to go after people, they said there's like 7 million of the things. Uh, and they do the thing like with the force reset triggers. They go to the company with a warrant, get a list of all the people that ordered this thing, and then they kind of go around to some of these people and tell them either give us the thing back or we're going to arrest you, type of thing. I don't know if they're going to do that with pistol bracelets. Okay, I have no idea. So I don't know what that slam was. Well, you can say it's Trump's fault, or it's all just part of the corrupt system that we live under. And it don't matter if it's Trump was president or Mickey Mouse or whatever, you're going to end up probably with the same results. Yes, that's the way it is. That's true. I mean, like they're talking about the electric thing to set up the solar panels and that the layout to that costs way more than installing a whole new heating and air conditioning system in the house. Yeah. Well, if you believe in that, that's fine with me. Okay. I don't believe, like I said, the level of corruption globally, not just here, not globally. There's no coming back from where we're going, and depending on who you are, who you vote for, kind of maybe some people get off a little easier, but in the end, the system is set up to screw over everyone. The Southwest, yeah, that's true. I mean, there are some places, and would you put that in on? Did you're building one? Yeah, Form One is you're gonna make one. See, I looked into it. A couple people contacted me about it, but then you got to go and engrave the receiver of the weapon with your information on it, your name and all this other stuff, and there's some kind of other number. I forget what what it is when you do a Form One. Because I guess Form Four is you're buying the thing already. Okay, and yeah, it's supposed to go through. It's been weeks. They said it was going through, but I looked into it. To me, it's not worth the hassle. And if they get real, I'll just disassemble anything that is like a piston, sell the parts off to get rid of them. Good morning. Access. Oof. Yeah. See, that's about the problem with that. They've been fighting over that religious area for a long time. I think 1200 was the first crusade. So yeah, that's that's politics. Yeah, I know a short barrel rifle, but you got to engrave is part of it. Engraving that thing on there. Radiation, like microwave stuff. Okay, but you still have to engrave the the thing. Name, city, state. Okay, I see your answer. Right now. Name, city, state. Okay. See, but I thought you have to be careful. If you got the gun and you got the part, people warned they could screw it. You see, that's why I'm nervous doing it. It's kind of like, how do they know you ain't already got it on there or something, and it's that gray area. These gray areas I don't like when it comes to fooling with this crap, you know. 80% rule. Adventure's been around. Well, solar power's fine, I myself don't need to screw with it. I just like plugging things into the wall, uh, and having it work with wires running to the house. You know, I mean 80%, yeah. I don't know, but I hear some stirring about, so I don't know if it's getting time for me to get going. It appears. Have to have all the paperwork before you build them or something. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I ain't gonna fool with it. Just too much of a hassle for me. Ah. All right, so 3 mil, and I ain't got to worry about an electric bill no more. Okay. Uh, I'll have to look into that. Apply for a loan. All right, guys. Like I said, I hear some stirring, so I guess it's time for me to get ready to do some more work around the house. So I will see everybody next weekend, and we'll meet again. And thanks for the, yes, that's right, Palm Sunday and Holy Week. And goodbye to all. All right, guys, take it easy.